In 1699, Captain William Kidd, pirate, was returning from the Caribbean in his ship Queen Merchant when his shipwright complained the vessel was leaking badly and needed hull repairs before attempting the journey across the Atlantic to England. Kidd had his hold filled with gold, plundered from the Spanish ship Buen Jesus y Nuestra Señora del Rosario. The nearest suitable port was Halifax, Nova Scotia. He had to unload the heavy gold before going up into the dock. Kidd pulled into the nearest calm anchorage, Mahone Bay, and transferred the gold to Oak Island by ship's boat with instructions to the treasure crew to bury it in a spot where it could be retrieved in 2 years' time. Reason? Kidd had married a beautiful New York woman and wanted to set up business there, so he needed the cash. The 10-man treasure crew, led by a crooked London sewer engineer, set about digging a deep shaft. Before they could do that, they had to stop the tide, which would flood the money pit. They built a cofferdam around a small bay on the island, stopping the groundwater around the intended money pit, and then proceeded to sink the hole. Using a strong oak tree branch above the hole as a tie point for their block and tackle, they commenced lowering the loot into the money pit. When they finished, they removed the cofferdam. In the meantime, Kidd, under an assumed name, got the Queen Merchant repaired in Halifax and returned to Oak Island to pick up the treasure crew. The sewer engineer made up maps so the pirate crew could retrieve the loot. Kidd erased the cofferdam part of the map and inscribed those key details on his sword. Without knowing the necessity for a cofferdam, anyone who tried getting the treasure would be drowned by the tide. In other words, to find out where the treasure was located, both Cutlass and maps were needed. It was decided that 10 men from Kidd's crew were to remain in Mahone Bay and guard the treasure, so needed a small vessel to live on and fish. Kidd, leading the 10 men, attacked a local fisherman, Edward Moore, to try stealing his boat, but he was a strong and capable man and killed 8 of the pirates with his sword. Kidd was spared, but had to give up his cutlass to show he accepted surrender. Kidd returned to the Queen Merchant with 2 remaining attackers, and they sailed back to England. No one in Canada knew about the money pit. In 1701, Captain William Kidd was brought before the British court, found guilty of piracy, and hanged. The 97-man crew of the Queen Merchant attempted to make a run for it and were sunk with all hands in the English Channel by Royal Navy ships. The treasure maps were turned over to the Admiralty and were stored away, but in the 21st century became public property, mainly due to the pressuring of Jacob Dunbar, William Kidd's descendant. The Cutlass, the final key to the treasure's location, had been passed down in Moore's family to Nancy. Jacob Dunbar has recently become a neighbor of Nancy Moore and has struck up a friendship.
Hello, is this Mary Parker?
Yes, Mary Parker speaking.
Mary, I am Nancy Moore. My house was broken into last night, and an old family heirloom has been stolen.
Well, it's an out-and-out theft. Just phone the police.
I did that, and the inspector recommended I contact you. You see, the item stolen has very little value, and he felt his department wouldn't put much of an effort into finding it.
Okay, what's the item?
It's an old cutlass. It's been in my family for hundreds of years.
Was anything else stolen?
No, just the cutlass.
Well, I'm getting fed up with the police handing off all their trivial cases to me. Do you mind if I contact them?
No, the inspector's name is...
Well, I know who it is. I charge by the hour, by the way.
That's all right. What now?
Can you come over to my place for a meeting and bring over the picture of the cutlass?
I don't have one. I can draw it for you. It has a unique shape.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow at 3 then. So, tell us the history of the cutlass. How did your family get it?
We are originally from Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia. You might have read in the history books. It is close to Oak Island, the place where Captain Kidd buried his treasure.
That's bunk. They've been digging on that island for years and have never found a thing.
Yes, but half a dozen people have lost their lives falling down the holes. Who are you, please?
Jacob Dunbar. I'm Nancy's next door neighbor. It turns out that we were both born in Nova Scotia.
Inspector and Sergeant, may I suggest you both keep open minds? Continue, Nancy.
As passed down through the family, Captain Kidd's ship went up to the rocks and he and his crew tried to steal my ancestor's fishing boat. A fight ensued, which ended in Captain Kidd and his pirates being beaten back. My great-great-great-grandfather was supposed to have given Captain Kidd, who was on his knees, his life. In return, he took his cutlass.
What? Bull crap. Come on, sir, let's go.
Wait! How do you intend to proceed with this, Mary? It sounds like a cross between a history lesson and fantasy.
Now that I have the facts, leave it with me. We'll have another meeting tomorrow. I might need a little police assistance, sir. May I call you?
Of course.
Oh, hello, Inspector. I need you to verify some things for me.
Have you found out anything?
Oh, yes. I pretty well have this case solved. We'll have that cutlass back to you before this meeting ends.
You know who stole it?
Yes. Want to tell us about it, Jacob?
What? What are you talking about?
Well, the inspector and I did a little checking on both of your family trees. And Nancy, your great-great-great-grandfather was who he said he was, a fisherman from Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, by the name of Edward Moore. He was acquitted for the murder of 8 men because he was fighting off a pirate attack.
We always heard he was a very brave man.
And you, Jacob Dunbar, had an ancestor called William Kidd, the infamous Captain Kidd, the pirate, As we speak, my sergeant is searching your home, and here is a copy of the warrant.
Pardon me, is this what you're looking for?
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we may have solved not only the case of the missing cutlass, but also the mystery of the Oak Island treasure. I see by the scribing on the blade that it matches the outline of the map, which points to a tunnel.
You want to tell us where you got the map, Jacob?
The knowledge that the map was held by the Admiralty was passed down in my family. I've been after them for years to get copies, and recently they made it public property, so I was finally able to get them. I've been searching for a descendant of Edward Moore for years to get at the key inscribed on the cutlass.